Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Alckemy. Today, we're going to be getting down on some bass design. I've just been having fun lately, working on my fundamentals and getting prepared to write a bunch of tracks and stuff for the rest of the year. We already made one, which I'm really happy with. We started off with a banger, but for this year, I really just want to make even heavier music and try to make almost every track that I can something that's dance floory, exciting, and whatnot. And so I've been practicing a lot with my basses and my drums and more lead sounds, if you will. And it's a constant sense of refinement. Before we get started, let me link you all to the Discord. We're going to go ahead and shoot off these quick play spells. I think there's only 2. Yeah, and then we're just going to go and hop into the sound design stuff. If you all have questions along the way, let me know. At some point, I do want to do a hardware stream. I just, yeah, I don't have it set up yet. I mean, I have it set up, but I don't have it set up with being able to speak through the mic and all that. It's almost kind of like its own station where I'm checked out, which is maybe better, to be honest, where I'm not looking at chat or talking to anybody, but I feel like that wouldn't meet an engaging show, if you will. But anyway, let's go ahead and check out what Michael's got. I've already listened to it. It's really good, but Michael, I'm curious, are you for these drums, for like most of your hip hop stuff, um is that addictive drums, or you just use samples and stuff? I'm very curious. He's not here right now, but I know that he'll watch the stream and check it because I'm sure he looks at the beginning of these and is like, "Did he play my shit?" Yes, I did. I did not forget. Velvet with the old dirty bastard kind of stuff. I actually like this. This is pretty cool. The dichotomy of the kick and snare are a little bit too contrasty for me. But if you could have something that's more of like a splash on top, because right now like the kick is layered over the snare, and so it kind of just like pushes it out and like takes away the breathing space that I feel like it wants to have. Or if you can make the second kick a little bit lighter and then add like or something like that over the top, I think that would be pretty cool. But as like a freestyle beat or something like that, if you can control your mids, then I think that this would be a really cool track that you could rap over. All right, on to the main event. We did a little bit of bass design yesterday. We did a lot of drum stuff, and even then, right before I went live, I did some more drum things. I like making drums and bass, guys. It's just my thing. It's my curse, if you will. I want to start off today by applying a wavetable, and we're gonna go for something monstrous, I believe. So we're going to apply some of this, and then I'm just going to make a wavetable. Do some stuff. Actually, let's pull out, that's the 8th. We need the 7th. Kind of like that. Pull out the 3rd. Let's do something a little bit different here. Hey, what's up, dude? Pull the 3rd back in here. And hopefully have a little bit of motion through the sound. Band passes have been nice lately. If I'm not doing like monstrous sounds, I'm using a band pass. Hakuna Matata, bro. Thanks for your tutorials. Yeah, dude. Thanks for watching them. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, it's the best. By far, the best. Sorry for my English and from Russia. Oh, you're fine. It was good. My little 12-year-old, he's really close to getting his touchdown race cork. And I've just been working on him to build up to it, and it's really cool because like it's been an entire process. So we were working on his touchdown, which is like a one-handed back handspring, where you swing a leg through to go up into a flip. Um, I did some I did some corks and stuff yesterday too. So like my knee hurts, but I mean I'm okay. I can kind of do stuff. Still kind of athletic, but yeah, he's getting close, and that's really rewarding. What level are they when they come to me? So, I mean, I've been teaching this shit for almost 20 years now. So I usually only take on private students that already have a little bit of skill. So he could already like backflip and stuff. But yeah, right now we're working on his cart full D leg, working on his cork. He got Webster down a couple weeks ago. It's like the front flip off one foot where you swing your leg behind you and you flip forward. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Like I'm still a teacher in a lot of things, but I don't really teach martial arts or tricking that much anymore. I've made plenty of rants on why I don't, but long story short is I got really tired of trying to convince people that what I do is valuable. I run into that a little bit here as well with music production, but I think that it's a little bit better. Um, what am I doing? Phaser and delay. I just started BJJ and it feels weird because I'm totally new, definitely outside my comfort zone. Yeah, well, BJJ is very like it's very intimate, right? It's very up close. But one of my favorite things that I like about grappling um, is what's called tactile awareness. How long you can't use kilohertz in a day? You can't. How long you can't? Are you saying how long can I go without using kilohertz? But yeah, the tactile awareness, right? It's the feel of martial arts. I mean, I go plenty of days without using it. I just prefer it. Hey Nate, what's up? I love that question when people ask me that. Like, oh, it's like, bro, I make music on an iPad or on my hardware or anything like that. It's I've done many videos where I just make music on uh, Bitwig, or I did one where I made a track with just current. It doesn't matter to me. How would you rate your enjoyment when it's in a sound design versus writing songs? I like making music much more than sound design. Uh, yeah, it's my OTT, but sound design is like what I can come to if I don't feel if I'm not in the mood to write, or if you know what I mean, if it's just not, like it's not working out for me or whatever. So what I want to do with this is probably also uh yeah, welcome to the channel. um Although I do want to make this a little bit shorter. I want to see if I can make this pop out a little bit more as well. And what I might do, because I want this to have like some crackly texture. Hey, Crazy, what's up, dude? Is we're going to send a parallel chain in here to have one instance of cracklies, one instance of not so crackly. Really what I'm trying to do is remake a sound that I made probably 8 months ago. I just don't remember what it was that made it to do the thing. Sorry. Oh, no. How to use a clipper and faceplant? Just turn it on. That's all I do. I just turn it on and I don't do anything else. Okay, let me see how I did this real fast. Put a clipper on my OTT and my steak and it's pussing. That's pretty funny. Filter table, reject it. Oh, right. I forgot. That's part of what it was. Yeah, we need this. And this. Ugh. Oh, there's a little bit of noise in here too, so maybe I can add some of that. Filter, EQ, comb filter, flanger, saturator, shaper table, bandpass. And this just has a regular thing on it? Okay, let's see if we can build some more of those overtones on there with some extra stuff. So for one, I'm just going to throw a little bit of noise over this. So let's do another multi-pass. And we're going to throw a filter table through this. And we're just going to create some stuff here that's going to have some interesting, that's going to be scary, some interesting combs. Kind of like that. Could build a notch like that and then do more combs. Some mids here. Okay, this is going to be scary, so we need to... Yeah. Okay. So that's all we needed to do was we needed to just add comb filters that were a little more custom within that. But what we can do is we can throw this in here and run this through some other stuff. But what we want to do as well is we want to make sure that this is... Do I have some strange but very cool thing that I do with kilohertz? This? I mean, I also make generators that are like randomly, like random sound makers as well as percussion and stuff, but it's been a while since I've made that in Phase Plant. I'm going to play around with messing with some of the timbre of this stuff. Oh, good luck. Thanks. And then I'm going to back off of the high end of this just a bit. Oh, fuck. Sound of Sangooners. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's not really what I wanted, but cool.
Recording to logbook.
Hey, thanks for the follow. The tasteful thickness. It reminds me of Taste the Biscuit. Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Don't get your honey sauce on my biscuit. Taste the biscuit. You guys know that meme? Let's see if I can make something that's kind of like a saw wave. I think I need to do every other harmonic, but whatever. Let me just go here and go like this. And then we'll go here, and then we'll start adding little stuff to it. Thought the name was saw wave. No. It's kind of a saw. I am so annoyed with myself. Do you all remember the other day when I was trying to figure out how to make that stupid fucking sync sound? It was the square wave. It just needed a higher harmonic. Ah, fuck. This sound, the whoa. God damn it, dude. I spent like 45 minutes trying to figure that out. I know. I couldn't figure it out. Well, what I'm going to do after this is I'm just going to make a patch and then I'll be like the sync bass. And that way it's just saved. So I don't have to worry about this ever again. Yeah, I'm so annoyed with myself. Half the battle is organization and naming real shit. Yeah, true. But I just, like I said, I forgot. There was some reason, I think I was like in the midst of writing a track or something and I wanted to put that in. And I was like, oh, let me just make this real fast and whatever. And 45 minutes later, I'm like, it's close, but it's not it. It's not it. What the fuck? Why? So annoying, man. You know, I'm thinking about actually like making a book. Real shit. I'm thinking about making a sound design book, like a recipe book. I think it would be pretty sick to do that. I have too many in here, sorry. They need to be like here. Okay. It's kind of gonna work. We just need to squish it together more. It needs to be like here. Sorry. I feel like there's a new major update for Phase Plant
Recording
coming
to
too.
logbook.
Yo, thanks, Faro. I appreciate the sub. I can't talk about it. I can't speak on it. Sorry. Are they finally gonna fix the dang sampler being quiet? Blink twice. I that one I don't know, but we can't play yes or no questions with this. I'm sorry, but I'll give you that one. I don't know on that front. No idea. NDA type shit. Well, it's not even that. I mean, it's common knowledge that I'm part of the beta, but like I'm not in works or like I don't have any like insider information other than what the beta is, you know. So I do know that, but yeah, I can't speak on that. But there's always a beta with kilohertz. They're always working on something. Right. But that's kind of given too though. No? Like we all know that at some point, you know, there's going to be an update that comes out that is going to be something really cool. Oh, dude, like I have the highest amount of respect for kilohertz. Why do you think I use them all the time? I want this program on like everything. Like I want it on iOS. I would love it on Steam Deck. I don't have a Steam Deck, but if I could, if I can get kilohertz on Steam Deck, like guys, I'd fucking lose my shit. Okay, so we are going to create peaks and stuff, but it's going to be like really subtle like this. What's Steam Deck? The Steam handheld for gaming? But it runs Linux, so you can run Bitwig on it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I actually thought about picking up the Lenovo Go 2. An extra cable? Like a MIDI cable? No, I haven't. I haven't even ordered one yet. I've been playing Counter-Strike since it was a mod for Half-Life, so I'm a diehard Steam Valve fanboy. I played CSGO, not CSGO, Counter-Strike 1.6 and Counter-Strike Source. Isn't it kind of inefficient to use Bitwig without a keyboard and mouse? You can use it as a touchscreen. You can also plug a mouse and keyboard into it. You can also plug an external, uh, you can hook it up to an external TV. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Yeah, yeah. I tried to save a template yesterday and I have to buy a full version of Bitwig. Guess Essentials doesn't count, but I might just buy it fully to use Polymer and time shift and such and save the racks. I mean, you can, but that's All I'm gonna say is don't use Bitwig just because I use Bitwig. You know, I know that we've had that conversation in the past before, but like you have Ableton. Like just make everything in Ableton. It's almost no different. What was I doing? Right. I was trying to make this like super metallic. User friendly sounds would do some cool shit on Steam Deck, I bet. Yeah, probably. I hate working in anything but Bitwig now because it's just easy for me to use now. I mean, that's fair, but I used Renoise on the Steam Deck before. It's pretty cool. That's pretty sick. Speaking of, raise your hand if you're a hardware person. I have some questions for you. If you don't mind. One thing that I'm going to do for now, I'll turn it back up later, but this is just going to save us. I'm just going to do this for a second. No. Actually, there's a couple of things that I want to accomplish with this. The first thing is I'm going to see if I can give this a bin minus/plus. So what I'll do is I'll create an auxiliary here. I'll send the output of this into here and turn this down. And then what I'll do is, or maybe I should do a mix rather. No, that's not what I want either. Wavetable. Morphs, modulators. Is there a bin plus and minus on here? Bin linear. Yeah, maybe a bend. We'll see. I don't think that's going to work. I think I just have to do it to this. Modulators. Remap bend. Bend soft. Been resampling my buddy's Moog since I can't get it to slap as hard as the actual synth playing the sub. It's weird. Hardware isn't just like general knowledge. Basically, I'm looking for an option for something that can make an OTT. But through everything that I've found, like even in the multi-$1,000 range, I haven't seen anything that can do both upwards and downwards compression. But it would be nice to see if something like that, or to find if something like that exists. Golly Cross Comp EQ. It can do upward, but is it multiband? So you'd have to buy 3 for $3,000. I'm dead. Oh my god. There's a multiband version. Oh my god. Golly gravity rainbow? You can't make this shit up. Does upward compression even exist in the analog domain? It should, because like you should be able to take a sound like a dynamic that's really quiet and like push it right up to 0. You can buy mini eggs with that money. Yeah, I just wanted to know if something existed like this. I don't even want to scroll down. Oh, that's almost the same price. But is this multiband? I can't even read this. Like it's attack, release, comp, dynamic. Oh, is it dual band? Oh, this is the cross comp. Well, where's the rainbow? I don't even see the rainbow's not even on here. Hello. Upwards compression is called expansion in hardware. Not, but it's not the same thing. Like if you look at the dynamics of what it does, it's not quite the same thing. I think you mean low level compression? No. So what I should do is I should watch Mick Gordon's video again on the kind of shit that he ran, like his processing chains, to see if like what kind of hardware he used. But long story short, the point of OTT is to take a take a frequency range, and anything right here that's below this threshold is going to be pulled right up to 0. Like just right up to 0 or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever you set this at. But the thing is like you have both sides of this, right? So you have stuff that anything that is above, it's going to push it down. Then you have anything that's here, like anything that's above the threshold to push it up even higher, kind of like that, or to like block it. You also have this to where you can make that go down. So you have above and below on both sides of the dynamic range. And that's where stuff gets confusing. See, at least as far as my knowledge goes, when you're talking about the expansion thing or whatever, I believe that it's whatever is above the threshold would fall into the expansion part, and anything that is below the threshold would be the upwards compression. Like if you look down and you read this label right here, it says click and drag adjust ratio for upwards compression or expansion. I will say I just posted a thing on Discord. Other option is Alicia Xmas for multiband comp. Not sure if it has a cross comp feature though. Yeah, I mean, once you get past $1,000 range, I'm kind of like, is it really worth it? No, but I did find this that it's not out yet, but it's in the works, which is very interesting to me. Read this. So this is fascinating. Like I said, it's not out yet, but they're building it based off of Raspberry Pi. And, you know, I'm sure at some point that'll come out, which I don't know how long I'd want to wait for it, but that would be probably the most economic answer, which there is a drawback because you have to have it connected to the computer, which almost defeats the purpose of it. But I like where this is going. You know what I mean? I like this for technology. But imagine having like 20 of those in standalone, and you just pop it over to, hold on one second. You just pop it over to your rig. Like, that'd be really cool. Okay, back to bases. Sorry. I know that the Doom compressor McGordon uses is based on extreme upward compression as a digital patch, like the KillerS dynamic with infinite ratios. Yeah, basically, and that's a lot of times what we do. That's actually like the primary function of OTT. He just didn't call it that. But I think that, but I wonder, like, I need to watch the masterclass again and whatnot. But yeah, basically looking for something like that that will take something that has extremely quiet dynamics and push it up to zero. Like, it's almost playing with fire because, and this is why you need it to be multiband, because if you do the entire signal, then you're just going to pull up the noise floor. You know what I mean? Especially if you're working with other pedals, which I have and whatnot. So like you're literally just going to make that humming go, which I understand why it probably doesn't exist. But, you know, maybe if there was perhaps some kind of DC offset to where it removes the noise floor and then it takes whatever dynamics is left through a more clean signal and can push it up. Yeah, that's an interesting problem to solve when you're working with voltage, but that's definitely something that I would like to see happen. There is the, what is it? The press or whatever, but that only works in downwards. And so it might just be more beneficial to just work with distortion and saturation. Sorry. Working with hardware as an OCT lover myself. Yeah, so I get it. But I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, so my main driver for my synths and stuff is, which I guess is still technically electronic, but LR balance and all that is a nightmare too. Also mid side. I mean, I mean, there's actually a lot of stuff that has a mid side. I was just looking at that. The Ghost pedal, and something else from Endorphin. They have a multi-band compressor that just does downward, but they have a mid side mode on that. But anyways, I guess what I have is digital technically because I have a Digitone and Iridium core, so there technically is no noise floor on that. The only thing that's truly analog is the heat, but that's the last thing in the chain. Excuse me. But even still, like a digital, I would still take like a digital hardware compressor or something like that that's not based off of circuitry if it could still perform the same function. Or what would be even nicer is if the Iridium core would just like come out with an update, which they practically like never do. That'd be cool too. The other thing that I was wondering about was a multi-filter system outside of the Sherman bank that's not modular. There was actually like a desktop version that I saw at one point, but I think that they stopped producing them for whatever reason. But instead of the Sherman bank being this way, it stood up this way. Oh, is that what it's called? Is that still out? I see. I'm so glad that you all are here because at first I thought I was losing my fucking mind, but I'm not crazy. Rodeo Restyler is done, but they made a new one. Oh, is this what this is? Oh, no. This is just the I think this is just a single band. They have one that's like the full, they have one that's the full rack. Is it the bunk? No. Why is my mouse fucking shitting the bed? The one? I think it's this one. You could make your own digital hardware multiband comp with a cheapo laptop running Ableton and Bitwig as and a MIDI controller. Oh my god, no, please. Actually, I mean, I could do that with a Steam Deck, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So this would be an interesting option. But how much are these? And also, do they still have like do they still have the modulation built into it? Because I don't see that on here. You should hit them up, dude. They should sponsor you. I did. I actually reached out to them. There's a rack mount Sherman filter bank. Are you saying there's a rack mount for Sherman filter bank? The giant filter bank? Does analog compression just hit harder for the main purpose of buying that compared to just using digital? No, it's so that way I don't have to route stuff to my computer. The double stack one? Yeah, this one, right? Or is this not the double stack one? See, this is also cool because you can automate the lows and the mids and the highs for bass filtering. Like, that's pretty fucking sick. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's the mini styler, but with added stuff in here. But what is this? A preamp and a 3-band EQ. So sorry, you were right. This is the main component to that. So you would still need 2 mini stylers in order to get what we wanted out of this. Yeah, I'm aware of the filter bank too. But that's why I was saying I was looking for an alternative. Pulse sync. Yeah, it looks like this one doesn't have LFO modulation built into it though. Would you use analog compression for a faceplant patch or really just for hardware stuff? But I mean, yeah, that would fit. Maybe. Maybe not. I could probably make that fit on my little desk. Seems like it's still better to get an old restyler. How much is it? Oh, yeah. Even just for the rack and one restyler, that hurts. M4 dynamic filter. Prices for gear are absurd these days. Need a limiter right after. Well, everything would be processed through the analog heat. So it wouldn't be a limiter, but it would clip it. It'd clip it to minus like 4D or something like that. Discrete phono stage. Yeah, I did reach out to these guys though, and I was like, hey, I would love to check your stuff out. Like, I didn't ask them to like send me one to keep, but I asked if they would like let me demo one, and I didn't get a response. What's a piece of hardware you recommend just to noodle around with when you don't feel like messing around on a DAW? What's your budget? Yeah, it does. It screams for sure from the videos and stuff that I've seen. I mean, shit, for like, that's insane. For this price, you might as well just get a Sherman filter bank too. Or 2 of them. Oh, this is a 90s one? What's the difference between... Bro, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't want the rack mount. Like, how can you tell when the latest production was on this? Tabletop would be probably the way to go. The new one is the slimline version. That's a good question. I'm not sure I can justify anything in the 608 area unless if I know I'd use it a lot. You can get a Digitone 1 for like 350 bucks. Third item. It's the second row from the perfect circuit on the preview page. Sorry guys, we are still doing base stuff. I'm taking a side quest. This one? The one I was just looking at? Yeah, the desktop version. The first one there? Oh, filter bank 2 compact. Okay, sorry. Can we zoom? I'll zoom in this way. As far as my knowledge goes, this only has two filters baked into it in the first place. And so like my issue with this is that there's not enough. Like it's hard to justify paying. Yeah, well, I'm not so concerned about stereo, but it's hard to justify paying, $1,000 for two more filters, you know. Technically speaking, the analog heat has it's got like 6 or 7 filters built into it, but it's only band passes. Which I guess is enough, but it would be nice to have like some other kind of interesting resonant filters and whatnot. But yeah, man, that's insane. Like $1,000 for this. Still has a screen protector. Dude, the analog heat is if you work with hardware and a DAW, like the analog heat is like the perfect thing to fuck with. Actually, Bow Wow, do you have an iPad or a smartphone? Particularly, do you have an iPad or do you have iOS, like an Apple phone? Because rather than buying hardware and noodling and shit, like there's so many apps on here that I could recommend to you that you would have a fucking heyday with. And it's still like it's convenient because you can just do sound design and shit on the couch. Like everything that I can make in Faceplant, I can make in this. No, I was going to recommend Drambo. Drambo is essentially like I have the desktop version, but Drambo. It's basically the Bitwig slash Ableton effect rack, but on mobile. So it literally does everything. It's got filters, you've got modulators, so you've got your LFOs, you have everything that scrolls between sample and hold, random sine, random triangle, whatever. You've got these different processors on here, all these effects, different modulators. It's got MSEGs, it's got different math utilities. Like it's basically a semi-modular workflow, but compact in on your iPhone or on the iPad. And it's like I want to say like $40 for the expansions and stuff, but it has internal resampling here that you can record whatever you make. Oh yeah, because this is going to take you further, right? Because you can start to implement things that are synonymous with modular synthesis, but it's also so convenient because like I said, you could sit on the couch, which I do a lot. Like if Corey's watching TV or something, I'll put my headphones in and sit down and make like fucking drums and snares and shit on the iPad. Or I'll make Neurobass or whatever. And I have videos on it. So it's all like everything that you want to know how to do, I've already done it. It like the information is up. Oh, with Scrawl. I think it's okay. It just sucks that you can't export it as a wavetable. Sorry, hope that wasn't a jump scare. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just run it through this. Yeah, man. I think iPads are the way to go. Like those things are so sick. You can do so much shit with them. I have the M2 and it's plenty strong. I've thought about upgrading, but I haven't really been able to justify it because it's still like fine. Flanger. Let's run that through a filter. Hey Fader, what's up, dude? Bro, what? I just checked and I can play Death Stranding on M-chip iPads. Yeah, you could play Resident Evil 4. I play Warframe on it sometimes. I also have other means to play classic games that I'm not going to mention. Hold up. Wait. Nobody leave. What? Sorry, my shit's tripping out. Okay, check this out. Hold on. Wait, there's more. Yeah, like this thing is such a iPads are hella underrated. Long story short. Bro got GameStop in his iPad. Is that an no? No. No. No idea what you're talking about. Those all the not even reading that. um to be fair, I do actually own most of those games. If not all. But being able to play them portably is pretty nice. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use these resonances and like basically pull them out with distortion to get them to scream. Hey, what's up, bro? I think that I just need to crush it more. Oh, dude, Shaper Table is like the best distortion on here. At least I think so. Just, I pretty much only use it for feedback, but the soft curve is so, it just warms everything up. What am I doing on this that... Maybe next time I should just start with the filter table and see what that does. Or maybe I should also implement that. Yeah, perhaps if I modulate the mid-band here. Then it might step into the screaming territory that I'm looking for. So let's see what that does. No. Oh yeah, I have that. Sorry, just trying to get this to... Basically trying to pit this against the low end and the high end to see if I can get it to like have that crazy high end that I like. If you have a bass that's like weaker in the sub, more prominent in the 3/4 harmonic range, is it worth adding a separate sub or will it take away from the timbre? It's contextual. That's something that could also be corrected with multi-band dynamics. Just gonna pull some other wavetables up here and see if I can get them to do something cool. Holy fuck. go. Okay, so yeah, we needed to fire that off first. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's situational. You kind of just have to fuck with it because it depends on the context. Okay, I think we're on the right track now for what I'm looking for. Um, yeah. So really what I'm doing is I'm just trying to blow out the low end and create intermodular distortion that interacts with that high end to get that like crispy, crunchy sound. So that's kind of where my mind is at on this at the moment. Yeah, so now it's starting to create that like really cool um metallic shearing, so to speak. And now hopefully if we pull this out with the OTT, we'll get something kind of like what I was looking for. Okay. I do know how to make this. I just forgot. That might help. Yeah, this one is similar, but different shapes, I believe, is kind of what's making it. Still some really incredible sounds in there. Yeah, just the way that it feels like metal is just like being pulled apart. Just went down an iPad rabbit hole. I can see what you mean about having stuff like Faceplant working on them or even Bitwig. Just like asking for it at this point. Yeah, I mean they're like fully blown computers that, you know what I mean? That's just like, why doesn't this exist? Whoa. There's still something with this that's not rubbing me off the right way. Maybe I need to apply that and see if that's going to help at all. Nah, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think it's going to. They're going to divide their market. Ah, so compressing the mids. I guess the mids and the highs like that. That's actually a really big, important part to this. Dude, fuck yeah. Love it, man. Love these kinds of sounds. They sound so cool when they're implemented in like the right way. would be the only reason, I guess, at this point. Can't see any other reason not to. Well, I mean, that's a huge reason not to, you know? Like, logistically, it makes sense. They should just incorporate Mac iOS onto an iPad. But like I said, it's never going to happen because, you know, why would someone buy an iPad that has Mac OS when they could get a laptop or whatever, right? It's because this has to do something different than the other thing, than the other thing, and the other thing. You get what I mean? And that's why I'm like, it's never gonna happen. Going to have a little callback to Elden Ring on this. There was another thing that I made for Zayaku the other day that actually I feel like it was months ago, but see, this is really interesting because this is actually Zayaku's patch. But there was this thing that I was wanting to do. I think I was just blowing out the low end. You think they're making a MacBook iPad high out, I think? Maybe. Let me see if I have his name in the patch, because there was another thing that he was asking me about that I wanted to do that I showed him how to do. And wanted to recreate another one of those. No. Fuck. I think it was rejected. It may have been that. It may have been this one. But maybe not. Thing is, separation from the touch UI and the keyboard mouse from desktop apps, the code underneath is identical. I'm aware. They just won't do it because they're going to be like, they're going to try to keep you in the ecosystem of, you know, you need an iPad, you need an iPhone, you need an iMac, you need, you know, an Apple Watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never going to happen. If they do, I would be shocked. Downright shocked. I don't know. Let's try something like totally different. That's funny. It's not even doing anything. Can't distort a square? Are you crazy? Like hell I can't. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why Shaper Table is better than distortion, because this will continue to push it as hard as you want it to. I'm going to turn this down. Actually, I'll turn this down for you. You know what's crazy is you can also modulate the bias on this as well as the phase, as well as the smooth, which is fucking crazy because this means that you can get some insane sounds. I say that and then Let's do this for fun. And I think that like anything I send into this insane distortion is going to be like wild. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It's pretty sweet. Gotta love those farts. Yikes. They could be, but like I said, I just don't see it happening. Or maybe what, like, something else I could see them doing is just, like, not putting enough power in them. But, I mean, given that they've already started putting, like, M5s and M6s, or sorry, M4s and M5s in iPads, I don't know what they're up to. I just think that I think something is fishy. For me personally, I'm waiting for the new I'm waiting for the M5 Ultra to come out, and then that's going to be the last, like, computer thing that I buy for a while, I think. Yeah, I think it'd be insane. Yeah, and since Mac is producing their own chips, like, I really wonder what's gonna happen to the market shift with, like, Windows stuff, you know? That's definitely going to be something that I'm like, now what? And also, Mac is kind of catching up because of, like, the freaking God's work that Crossover or Code Weavers are doing. Like, there's a lot of, like, it's not perfect, but there's a lot of PC games that I play on my M3 Max. Like, I play Elden Ring, I play Diablo 4 sometimes, which I recently uninstalled to try to play other games. Sometimes you have to wait for a patch update because, like, I have Dying Light the Beast as well as Devil May Cry 5, and those run sometimes, but not well. And it's not because of a power issue, it's just because of a coding issue or whatever, but even still, you know, being able to run all that stuff on the Mac now is like, oh shit. That's what I was wanting. I think most of the tearing sound is coming through this, so let me see if I can pinpoint. So maybe I can set this to be higher more often. Untapped potential of wavetables. Have you seen my video on bipolar wavetables? By chance? Ugh, I can show you here in a second. But I think it's, yeah, like, I think that's something that is relatively untapped. like having some kind of space in this, some kind of convolution reverb with distortion would be good. Oh, right. I think that the key to this with what I was trying to do from beforehand was just sending this through like an insane wavetable. I think that was what I was looking for. So if you do something like this, I was prepared. Basically trying to get more high-end scream out of this. Yeah, okay. So that's what I was looking for. And then I'm kind of curious as to what would happen if I threw this through, like, I don't know, another kind of thing, but maybe not. Yeah, the sound itself is already falling apart, so. However, what would be also cool to maybe try is just to take this and to throw it here. Dude, she's like deathly afraid of something. It's gonna kill us all. She is a joy. I do love her, but she's fucking psycho. F1, bro. Come on. That's so cool. I should probably just record that phrase. That was fucking awesome. Yo, what's up, Connor? Stage 2? Oh, sorry, this is in multipass. I need snap heap. Damn. So I think like what I need to do is instead of trying to like do the whole Cohen sound thing and design everything like in the way that they do, I think I just need to keep doing it the way that I do it, because I mean this is just as cool to me. At least some parts of it are. Like maybe even just recording this out. And then tossing this in here and putting it back in. So stuff like that, and then throwing it through this, I think is... It's fucking nasty. I was trying to see if maybe an OTT would like make it do something cooler, but interesting. Yeah, pretty cool. Right. I was going to show you how to get bipolar waveforms. So check this out. So you go wavetable, and then you create another one, and you go wavetable. If you throw a distortion on this, and you turn the bias of this one to all the way to the left, and you do a distortion on this one, you turn the bias all the way to the right, then when you get a signal here, let's make this like different. Check this out. So you can essentially create independent sides of the waveform and process them differently. You got your square wave here, you've got your saw wave here, but it's like, and this could be anything, you know? So, I have a video on how I've made some stuff with this, but I think one of the best courses of action to try would to just be like, you know, try something like that. Maybe just figure out what's on here. Do this. Do this. And then, I don't know, change this into something else. And just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that it's going to be cool, by the way, but it's just interesting to try it. Like, what if you like set this to like super detuning or something, and this is all spread out, but then the bottom half of the waveform is It's pretty interesting. Now, something that I'm still trying to figure out how to do inside of Faceplant is something that's actually a lot easier to do inside of Serum. Since we're on the topic of bases and stuff. Sure. This is the latest version from November 2.24. Yeah, I think so. Okay, I've got that installed. I'll do that later. Okay, so yeah, if you take, how do I do this again? Just go bin minus and bin plus, I think. You just do this. I think it's a solid sine wave. You go effects, you go overdrive by like ×2. And then you just add like a hyper growl to this. And you take this and throw it into a sampler. Or wait, no, my bad. Yeah, you still keep it as a wavetable. I don't think it matters. Then you do it again. I actually forgot how to do this. I think it's that one. Let me see here. I think I am way off. Let me see. Okay, so you take a saw wave. And remember it was a saw wave, but Oh, I think from there I just modulated through the wavetable. Oh, you render it. That's why. Okay, so that was... But getting that... To just get that, like, zippy sound. Let me see if I can recreate that again, so... What do you mean nothing to render? Oh, render oscillator warp. Okay. Yeah, that's not giving me this what I want either. Interesting. There's... What am I doing wrong? I think I'll just have to go watch the AU5 thing again and then be like, okay, but basically what I was wanting to do was create a bin warp on a sound and then process it in a way that gave it that pinching that pinching kind of format. Was it resample? Can you resample into the wavetable again? Maybe not render? I don't remember. This is what happens when you get old, man. Yeah, okay. Because then when you turn it off... So now within that, this little interesting processing chain here, you get that. So if you throw that through whatever, then so I think really what I need to do is just figure out how to get this kind of warping to follow into itself. And I mean, all of it can be done through wavetables, but it would be interesting to figure that out of how to get that to work in the way that I want it to. So that's going to be the next objective that I'd like to figure out. I don't really care to use these sounds. I just think they're interesting and fascinating to like to make and to understand, if that makes sense. So something that I might be able to do, maybe, is if there's a way that I can squish this. So I don't know, but let me see. Oops. Okay, so if we have a sine wave like this, and we have two sine waves, still a sine wave, smaller sine waves. Okay. So can I can. There we go. I go done and crossfade this. Ah. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, so sine wave. And we will do this. Is it with DC offset? Is that how this works? No. It's worth a shot. So we'll do this. Then this one. Clear it out. Come here and do this. And then let's just see if these two will fade together the way that they need to. Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Let's try this. I'm just going to push that super short. Make it a little bit longer. This is the way to do it. Never seen wavetable editor, which actually is not painful to use. No, dude, this wavetable is awesome. I don't think that it's quite as robust as some of the things that you can do in Zebra, but there's also a lot of things that you can do in this that you can't do in Zebra. Okay, so there's our bin. Yeah, there's our bin minus right there. Sort of, maybe. Not exactly. Still haven't figured out a way to drag and drop samples into Polymer to make it a wavetable. Is it possible? I always get an error pop up. I don't recall, to be honest. I could try it here in a second. I don't know if you could do that or not. Hmm. So if you keep doing that, cool. It's possible. I mean, really now, when you send this through everything else. I mean, really, I'm just going to chuck like a formant thing on here. Like let me make sure that this has. You can try that. That might help. Like when your neighbor is drilling through a wall kind of sound. It's pretty funny. Okay, so this is just proof of concept that's what we needed to do. Was we needed to create something that was whatever, had formants to it. Um, yeah, so within this you can get those cool gurgly formant sounds. I just don't feel like making one, but I mean, just throwing the racks on here, that does what it needs to do. And so the key to it is to be able to recreate the bin plus and minus, and because the Serum 2 is resampling it essentially into a new wavetable and applying the bin minus to that thing, you can kind of cheat it. It's a different characteristic, but um, it works. Still pretty cool to think about though with utilizing that, and I didn't realize that that was even a possibility with making that kind of shit. Wavetable is just a LUT. Look, man, I need you to not mix video and audio together. In regards to can you throw a sample into Polymer, I don't even think that that's a possibility. Let me see if I can just find something short. Yeah, it's not a correct type. So it needs to be like a .wts or something like that, or like a bitwig wavetable, something of the sort. Yeah, and so what you would do is you would go here and I think you would go to like new, yeah, locations. So then you can go to like sample pack. Wait. Right, wavetable format. But I'm still trying to see if you can just add from your library. I wish it was easier. The best way to make wavetables is just in the grid. You right-click the wavetable icon in the browser. Where is the wavetable icon? Oh, this? Reindex. No, because even my wavetables aren't popping up in this. The bigger one? Who to what? Oh. Yeah, so even these wavetables don't come in. But for some reason, some of them do. So some of these other wavetables, like this stuff, works. Bitwig Essentials. User wavetables, Eternum wavetables. Oh, I guess maybe it just imports it to my library or something. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't even remember what a recent wavetable I've used is. I've gotten just in the habit of like making one from scratch and then not even saving it because they're really insignificant to me. It's mostly just for like random ass stuff. But I will say like it's a little inconvenient. I don't know if you've seen this before or not, but one thing that you can do is go scroll, send this into a blend. And this will modulate in between. And I think that there's some like other options that you can do with this, if I'm not mistaken. Like if instead of using this, if you go merge, and then you have like an attenuator, the wavetable oscillator in the grid. Yeah, I got you. I don't even remember how to do this. Is it attenuate? Oh, no. It's here. Like this. And then you have an attenuator. Like that. I think. Volume? Toggle? Something like that. I saw this from Dash Glitch. This is how I figured that out. I just don't remember how, like what the parameters of this was. Maybe volume. But I think that just using the blend probably will be better. Yeah, this is oh, value, right? But this is fine too. Yeah. So he was saying, Tech was saying, wavetable, right click in the browser. I actually don't see import wavetable. That yellow icon? This one? This one? This was the one I clicked? Oh, that's nice. Near it? You mean this? Oh, why didn't you just say the text? It's the text. You have to click on the text. Okay, so there's that. So, I mean, I guess that's one way to do it. It's okay, so you can't, you have to click in this area, but you can't click on the icon. If you click on the icon, it says add to quick sources. Oh my God. Yes, they were made with my PP. I'm glad you noticed. Now, what if I wanted to get rid of this? Like, get rid of everything? Okay, how do I get rid of this? Or I guess not. I guess it's okay. Because now that I look at this, I don't see anything that's like I don't see any repeats, and that's what I was worried about. Wavetable folder inside of the library folder. Oh, so I'd have to go to the Bitwig folder in the documents and then do all that. Look at these shapes. What do you know about the La Chupacabra? La Chupacabra. La Chupacabra. Yeah, I do still wish that Ableton, or fuck, Bitwig would add, and Ableton too for that matter, would add a wavetable maker, or at least just a harmonic editor. Like, it doesn't need to be like a wavetable, but just a partials, right, with harmonics. That would be so useful for the thing. I think if Bitwig had that, they had the repitching with audio, and they added an OTT, I would be fine with like them adding nothing else that I expect or wanted in the future. It's almost perfect. We need an OTT, we need a wavetable maker, we need that audio feature. Yeah, it's as far as what it needs. But in a perfect world, I would like multiple lanes, and or just like Polymer is such a genius like thing because of the way that you can change the selections and stuff. Like, I wish all of their devices were like that, and I think they're moving towards it with stuff like Filter Plus. Sorry, I don't want to go on a rant about Bitwig, but this, like, every device should be like this. This is such a G thing. Well, like, all of their first party devices should be like that, where you can just hot swap, you know, or being able to right click and then have the polygrid come up, or polygrid devices in the same way with, but maybe with first party devices or whatever, or maybe even like collections, which you can do over here, but yeah, collections should be in the right click menu, I think is the best way I could describe that. I'm gonna go watch Matrix Reloaded. You're not going anywhere. You think you're leaving? You're not going anywhere. We're making bases. You don't want to miss that FOMO, do you? Do you? Do you? No, it's fine. Have a good rest of your day. Take it easy. Fear of my balls? That's quite a phobia to have. Wow. All right. Does anybody want to see a specific kind of bass, or rather, now I'll take requests as long as it's not how do I make space laces or how do I make X artist. I am going to make a space laces video at some point, but it's not going to be about anything that you think is going to be about space laces. Unless if you were in yesterday's stream, because then you'll know what I was talking about. But yeah, what do y'all want to see? What can I do for you now? How can I be of service? Educationally, entertainment-wise. What should we do? What do y'all want to do? Also, there's been like a consistent 20 plus of you in here today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and having fun. I hope that I'm sorry if I'm boring, but what the fuck is that? No, I don't have time to produce a track right now because I have to go soon. I always want to see more grid stuff. Yeah, I mean, we could try to get lost in the grid, I suppose. I'm not very good at it, to be honest with you. This is a polarity thing. Okay, what do you want to see? What are we doing? What do you want to see? Fucking fucking uh Neurobase? Oh man, come on. I've already done that. If I wanted to do bubble sounds, I would just grab an LFO like this. Probably just here. And no. Just grab curves. Let me just fucking clear. Yeah. Okay. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so with this guy, you would set this to the pitch. And what you would do is you would grab a sample and hold LFO that would change the rate of this over time. Except I did it the wrong way. We probably want to take out the base of this. Now I'm cooking. Had to make some fucking bubbles for you to say that? Really? Really? You're not supposed to be here. You go away. No, I'm just joking. Fuck. Oh, fuck. There's your bubbles. Probably should create another mod delay on here that just has a little bit of sure. Bubbles. My bubbles. Bubbles! My bubbles! Bubble gem. There you go. Let's make like a... We can make like a womp or something like that. The problem with making like neurobase inside of this is it's really fucking annoying because you don't have... There's no EQs in here. And so you have to do everything very clinically, which is... It's not undoable, it's just annoying. But if you go filter, probably SVF, changes to a bandpass, turn this bitch off. Curve. Clear. Yeah, that'll work. Sure. What I've been doing is adding effects afterward in the effect container. No, that's like defeats the whole purpose. I mean, you can if you want to, but you know, real fucking G's? No, I'm just kidding. It's really inconvenient to do it. But making all the oscillators in the grid. I really like push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. We can use ring mod here. Noise generator. That'll go into a mix. Now, the most annoying part from this is creating a filter chain on here that probably XP. Bruh. Oh my god. It says high pass plus low pass, but how does it dictate what goes into what? Like, we need triggers to add chance after the noise, turn the percent down so it gets all crackly, drop out. You could, or you could just add bias to it. Because if you listen to this. Sorry, let me turn this off. Might have to distort it. Yeah. So just grab another one of these, go paste, put it here. Sorry. Does the same thing. get some nachos. Nacho cheese. Just gonna have that do that, have that do that, have that do that in different places. But then what we want to do is go here, move this out of the way. We need to replicate this into here. Into here. No. Yeah, it's just like when it comes into like clinical synthesis, like it's really just a pain in the ass to do this. Peak, where you at? Peak, playboy. We're gonna make this move. This will be our thing. That'll be our highest one. This one's gonna go up, but go this way. And then set this to be down. Move this one up. Set this as another peak or something like that, and then have that move. Ow. Turn that down. We have this go into a mix here. Mix. Wait, is sweep in here? No, it's not. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, this is like where your homework is right here, is just figuring out how to utilize like it's okay, it's kind of there. The problem is I can't see it. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what's really annoying, is I want to be able to look at like how much this is doing. Doing what? It makes sense, okay? Let me just... But, I mean, this would be serviceable. And so now what we would do is we would yeet this through, or maybe even do this. Or see if we can replace this into an XP and set this to a higher level bandpass. There we go. And then we need to make this not as high. And also, like, this adjusts by semitones as opposed to like frequency range, which I would really like there to be a way to... But now that we have that, we can go into our split, which I don't remember what it's called. Split crossover. So we can add another instance of push. Turn off the anti-aliasing. Just run it through this. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. Do a comb filter on this. Can I like make this bigger? No. Like, this is also an annoying thing, is like at some point you start getting shit like this, so you have to do like weird movement to get this out of the way. But if you start this at like 400, and then we do another one of these that just free runs on its own, we'll set this to hertz, kilohertz. something pretty slow like that, and then move this up to like 1.5K, which I'm going to assume is somewhere around here. Why in God's name is that so fast? Okay. All right. You can grab a filter. Sure. Just use SFV again or something. Do another one of these guys. Look at how organized this is. And some kind of distortion on the top end. Maybe like heat or howl or something. Yo, what's up, bro? And then we'll introduce some more noise back into this. Grab a filter. Could run that through any of these, really. Also, this should be like here. I'm going to set this to ideally, I would like to send this through another valve filter, but I just can't be bothered to like. Yes, I can. I can be bothered to do this. I'm gonna go here and paste this. And then can I group these or like do something with them to where they're all going to be here? See, that's something I think should be implemented. Like, and maybe there's a way to do it. I don't know. But it would be nice to not have to do this one by one. Ow. Just do some more nachos. Okay, what is creating that insane resonance on the top end? Nothing. Yeah, no matter what I do, sending that through is just creating insane. Yeah, so at this point, it's not even worth using that, to be honest, because it just creates. But it still needs some of that top end to be able to. I mean, still a pretty fat sound, but yeah, it's kind of what I was. That's pretty cool. One thing I am going to do is put an over on this. Something else that we could do is go into another crossover. We could just try to implement a low high. Because it's like, ideally I would want to do as much of this in here as possible, as opposed to just going to the device menu. But the fact of the matter is that just using the device menu is way more efficient for this kind of sound. Like way more efficient. Like, bruh, 10 times. You know what I mean? Sure. Okay, so now we need some more curve stuff. Reset. We're gonna do like 4. Bruh. Okay. Bruh. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Okay, that's going to be scary, so we're going to back off of that to like here instead. And then we're just going to get in here and make stuff happen. Just make it happen, Captain. Keep the resonances on this relatively low for the most part, and maybe have like one little peaky. Like that. Just see what this does. And this should probably go here. from here, you can take this and resample it and do as you will. Throw it into your OTT, or you can go into your EQ Plus and create your formants and all that other stuff, which is nice. So you can start to mangle and dangle. I've actually got a really good bass out of just using Polymer with the resampling system. But the problem is that you need the devices to do it as opposed to the grid. And also, good God, I need to move this back into a much more tame thing like this. Something like here. Hello. Thank you. Look at this on this scale instead, maybe. And the other issue with this is that the 100 to 1K scale is like right here. So when you're creating formants, you have to really like be way more precise than you normally would. So something like something like this. It's got to be really close. You could, I suppose, just do it this way. Now that I think about it. But what's the fun in that? Spoiler alert. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. There you go. So it would float around there. That whoa type of sound. And ideally it would be like in this chain somewhere, but yeah. Let me see. I had a thing here. Stage 3. Yeah, and I've saved these in stages, but this actually turned out really good. Well, maybe not. I thought that I could have sworn that I had a thing on here that was doing the thing. Best together of both worlds. I think maybe what I had done from the past is hold on. I think it's this one. Because I was just watching their videos on Patreon. This does not look like it. Nope, something else. Hold up. I think it's this one. The only difference though is that rather than using modulators and stuff, yeah, okay, is I used automation. So there's a lot going on here, but there's also not a lot going on here. I started with this. Got that to this, which is just this. This is the resample. And that came out to this. And then I resampled it here again. No, I didn't. I resampled it here. Got some pretty cool sounds out of that. And I just had a heyday with like... No. Where are these other ones here? Yeah, so some stuff. Ah, yeah. That sound? So yeah, I mean, I just spent pretty much an entire day just bouncing shit out like this and trying to get new stuff. Yeah. I took her out around 11, but just to go pee. Love you. Yeah, so that's, I don't know, some stuff with that. I still don't think that, like, as far as bass design goes, like, you can definitely do it, but I don't know, I just can't get the same kind of shit that is the higher amount of quality from this as compared to Faceplant. But I also will say, like, I pretty much just use Faceplant for everything. You can still get really cool stuff, but for whatever reason, like, the formant shaping inside of Bitwig has always been a little bit strange to me with the behavior. It would be really nice if, and I actually run into this problem with Ableton as well now that I think about it, but it would be really nice if there was some kind of, I don't even know, man, like EQ plus plus, to where you can have more stuff. Yeah, basically. You can always use Morph EQ if you need it, but for some reason, I feel like Morph EQ just doesn't do it justice either. And I don't really know what it is, but yeah. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions about anything? 42. Yeah, that one's dope. 46 and 2. Probably not gonna save that, but whatever. Whatevs. Oh, hello. Hi there, sweetie. You being good? You being good? Yes, she is. Yeah, well, let's see. We did a lot of drums yesterday. We did a lot of bass today. Yeah. I can get there. I just need to spend more time with it. And I think what happens is a lot of times I'm like, all right, this is taking way more time than I'm comfortable with, I guess. And I have to really be like, man, I need to fucking do this. But have you guys heard the basses that I've made on the Iridium? That thing has been that thing has been crazy. Which I suppose I could do that too, and just run it through that or make the same kind of setup. But yeah, man, the Iridium Core makes fucking huge sounds. And in theory, like Bitwig should as well because the sound engines are just so, you know what I mean? They're just so fat. But this was the same issue that I ran into. Oh, that's water. This was the same issue that I ran into when I was trying to switch from Ableton to Bitwig, was that I was trying to make Bitwig sound like Ableton. And in this case, I feel like I'm trying to make Bitwig sound like Faceplant rather than just like go a completely different route. So I think that maybe trying to not do it that way would most likely be better. But yeah, it's still interesting nonetheless. Interesting stuff. Other than that, I don't really have anything else that I want to do today. I'm just kind of chilling. I'm gonna go play Riftbound here in a couple hours. Yes. She was like, "Nah." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go play." But yeah. Do you guys remember when I was talking about, or I was bitching about like the hardware stuff, and about like how you're never gonna make music as good on hardware as the computer? I think that I found a workflow to like close the gap, not entirely, but significantly. At least as a means of being able to incorporate detail and have like glitches and all that other shit. I think I showed this yesterday, but I wanted to talk about this because I'm really excited about it. And maybe next week I'll do some streams where I'm working on some stuff like this. But um, the Oxy one goes into the Iridium Core, which is pretty much like the sound design workhorse. That goes into the Digitone as an external. And this goes into the Zoya, which goes into the microcosm. So that's like my effect processors that get recorded into the Digitact. And then that goes into the analog heat, which is the overall like clipper, I would say, because that's all I'm really using it for is just fucking master distortion, I guess. But what's interesting is that this can resample into the Iridium Core. You have to be careful with it because it creates a feedback as it like continuously feeds a signal back in. But what's cool about it is that you can essentially keep getting new stuff. And this can also sample internally as well, which is also really interesting. So you've got like 2-stage sampling on this. And then in between this and this, you have 32 tracks plus one. So you have 33 tracks, which I don't know if you could do that or not, but maybe 34 if you're running 2 different layers. I don't know if you can set the layers to be triggered by different stuff on the Iridium Core, but uh, yeah, it's kind of interesting, kind of fascinating, really, if you think about it. And the other thing too is that even though there's only, let's say, 16 tracks slash 16 tracks, you can have different sounds on the same track, right? Via parameter locking, via sample locking, or preset locking, right? So you can swap out this with, like, what I'll do is I'll create, what is it, like a percussion sound. What is this routing software? No, this is hardware. Like this is a hardware workflow. Um But within this, you can have like one percussive sound, and then on the next step, you can have it switch into a completely different percussive sound. So you can create like a, you know what I mean, like a shuffle just on a single track. So that opens up a lot of doors for different, what's it called? Like you still can't get a crazy arrangement with like insane cuts and glitches and sounds and shit within it, but like with a little bit of expertise and a little bit of prowess, you can kind of fake it, especially if you have a different master effect. Yeah, yeah. This is Obsidian. Like this is just for creating flowcharts specifically. But I wrote this down because this is the map, like the blueprint that I have for my hardware setup. So it would be fun to do that. It would also be fun to run. Hey cat, what's up? I should say caterpillar because that's a very different animal than caterpillar. Or cat is a very different animal than caterpillar. But hope you're doing good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I've been doing base design for 3 hours and I'm a little cooked. But we're talking about some workflow stuff on hardware now. I don't mind about the name. Okay, I appreciate it. I wouldn't be upset or offended if you were though. And then even still, call me by my name, Pappy. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're kind of at that stage where I'm done producing, and so now I'm just taking questions and shooting the shit. Yeah, it. I don't know. It might be more beneficial to just internally resample through the Digitact. But the thing about the Iridium core is that you can do live granular on there, which I haven't really found a good use case for. And the microcosm itself is kind of also a granular effect too. So maybe having this feedback chain is a little bit redundant, but it does give you an extra set of sound or a extra set of effects that you can run it through. Because like you can send the external stuff through the extra reverb and distortion and chorus or whatever and all that. And then once it gets through this stuff, you've got those effects. And then once it gets here, you can also send all of this through the same external effect processing, provided that you turn everything else off that's being sent through there. So it's a little convoluted, but um, yeah, I think that it's pretty exciting, pretty interesting. One thing that I do need to get is I need to get a way for this to come into this as well. So I need to get another MIDI cable so that way I can just make other melodies or like make percussive lines on this. That way I don't actually have to sequence as much on the digitone and I can just create a pattern via this, record both of these into here and just use those either as like synchronized or whatever. I forgot, but this is MIDI, using this as a MIDI host. And so there needs to be a way that I can tie all of these together. We'll set this as green. Green for MIDI. I don't know. It's just going to be green. So this is the missing link, but this is linked into this. Ideally, it would be cool actually if I could link this into this as well. Because then this could be synced if I wanted to add external effects to play with. But it's not that big of a deal. Or I guess another option is I could send this into this, into this, into this, and maybe have a bunch of CV gates or something, like even put that into the microcosm and the Zoya so that way they're all synced. But yeah, I don't really think that's necessary. What is interesting is if you cook a sound though, now that I think about it, if you cook like a, you know, like a Reese that's morphing and whatever, and you put it into the Digitact, because you have a low pass and a high pass, you could essentially do some really cool stuff with it. The one problem with this, though, I guess you would have to do it through the morphing filter, is that they don't run in parallel, they run in serial. So I guess if you did the morphing filter, then you could make it, change from a low pass into a high pass and whatever. But it's weird because they end up taking turns, and so the interactions behind what I'm looking for isn't quite the same. But even still, it might be interesting. Or you can do a morphing filter and then just use a low pass on the bottom end. Yeah. Yeah, I think next week we might take a break from doing the sound design on here and then do some stuff over there. I might even just move the desk like right in front over here because it's kind of modular in that way. The desk has wheels, and so I can just move um the entire thing into another part of the room, which is awesome. Maybe even right here, because that way I can set up the camera and still have the mic, but not have to make this super high. I can keep it low. Um, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I don't have anything else that I want to do. Does anybody have any questions about anything? All my stuff is on wheels now. Yeah, I should have done that. I should have even done that with this desk, to be honest. It would have been nice to be able to move stuff. Nah, if even the main desk, there's nothing on here that could really like fall off because almost everything is clamped. Yeah. Everything's pretty much clamped. There's not really anything to be knocked over other than maybe the laptop stand, but that's not a big deal. I should have done it. I should have made the wheels. Should have made the deal to make the wheels to wheel and deal. I've actually been thinking about arranging or rearranging the studio. Um, though I don't have many options. I can move this against that wall, or I can move the desk against this wall. I don't want to move it against the closet. That doesn't make sense. So watch out. You have enough cable length. So it's all contained. So under the desk, here, let me show you. This is pretty dope because everything goes into. Hold on one second. Yeah, everything goes in here. So it's all hooked up to this guy. So this is just one cable. So all I have to do is unplug that from the wall and then it all moves together, which is, uh, hello, which is really nice. And that's kind of what I did with that as well, because it all hooks up to one single cable thing or like one single power strip. So that way I can move everything without having to unplug a bunch of shit. But that was one of the best moves that I think I could have made. Sorry. Yeah. Well, anyways, I hope you all had fun today. I certainly did. I'm gonna hang out with Corey for a little bit before I go and play cards and probably have some lunch or something. But much love, guys. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. We can continue the party in the Discord. There's a link, or I'll just leave another one. If you all want to support the channel, alckemy.com. I'm working on some samples and stuff and presets that I'm trying to do cool things with. But yeah, I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your evening.